You're watching WWAY News at 10.
School sends kids back home. Tonight, a school in the Cape Fear returning to full-time virtual learning. And how many children will virtual learning affect? Tonight, looking at the rise of homeschooling in the Cape Fear. And what's blue and green and causing pet owners to see red? What the city of Wilmington says is causing a possibly dangerous discoloration at Greenfield Lake. Thank you for joining us here tonight on your News at 10. I'm Peyton Furtado. As the school year begins and COVID cases rise across the Cape Fear, many parents are turning to homeschooling. Misty Small, a homeschool parent and teacher within Christian Home Educators of Wilmington, gets emails daily from parents who have never homeschooled, but made the jump in the past year. Now, Small says this trend especially applies to younger children, usually between kindergarten and second grade. But there are several reasons people make the switch. Many families recently made the jump because of school mask mandates.
We always have a fluctuation of new people, but we had 100 new people that were new to homeschooling.
Is that normal?
No, that's huge.
Small says people homeschooled during the pandemic for a variety of reasons: to not wear masks, to keep immunocompromised family members safe, and to have a consistent education for the year. And speaking of needing a consistent education, South Columbus High School announcing it's returning to full-time virtual learning Monday. It's the first school in the Cape Fear to make the move as positive cases continue to rise. Since August 9th, Columbus County Schools says there have been 92 positive COVID cases among South Columbus High's students and staff. They'll go into virtual learning all next week, deciding how to proceed. It will all depend on the number of COVID cases in the community. The county's health director reminds residents to remain cautious and get tested if they feel unwell.
The COVID virus in any kind of variant, we're just going through the Delta variant right now. I think we're going to see more of this. And again, the only way that we can get rid of this virus, get rid of these masks, are to get your vaccine. Wash your hands frequently. Wear your mask.
We reached out to Columbus County Schools for comment, but they did not respond. The County Health Department will hold another round of vaccination clinics partnered with Columbus County Schools next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at East, West, and South Columbus High Schools. And in New Hanover County, shocking increases in positive cases. The county tweeting today there are new COVID cases on track to increase 10 times over in just 3 months and 3 times the deaths. In June, the county had 217 new cases and 4 deaths. This month, there are so far 2,008 new cases and 14 deaths. The county also reminding everyone that there is a mask mandate currently in effect. And the number of positive cases continue to grow at UNCW. Right now, the Seahawks reporting nearly 500 cases. According to the university's dashboard, the cases include 252 on-campus students, 217 off-campus, and 7 staff members. 107 of UNCW's 150 quarantine beds are taken. With the increasing numbers, UNCW held a pop-up vaccine today to disappointing results. No appointments were necessary and the shots were free, but the turnout was low. Campus officials, however, saying it's important to get the Seahawk community the chance to get the shot. 2 Brunswick County towns are bringing back indoor mask mandates for government buildings over the next few days. The town of Oak Island declaring an indoor mask mandate starting tomorrow. Southport also instituting an indoor mask mandate Monday. Leaders of both towns blaming the spread of the Delta variant for the policy change. And the Cameron Art Museum says starting September 7th, all visitors 12 and up must provide proof of at least 1 vaccine dose or a negative COVID test within 72 hours of their visit. Face masks are already required for entry. In other news tonight, we have an update on an officer-involved shooting that killed a fugitive in a Whiteville Walmart parking lot in June. The Columbus County DA's office completing its investigation called the shooting legally justified. U.S. Marshals helped find William Dean Hewitt, wanted for first-degree murder of Brandy Lynn Price in Atkinson, Pender County. Tracking him to the Whiteville Walmart, officers got a tip Hewitt made statements about shooting it out with law enforcement and would not go to jail willingly. When officers found Hewitt and approached, Hewitt immediately took out his gun and pointed it at the officers. 4 officers fired at Hewitt, killing him. The CEO of Wilmington's True Colors Brewing says the company is more committed than ever to its mission of stopping gang violence and creating economic opportunities. George Taylor invited WWAY inside the business for a candid conversation about the company's culture, its community outreach, and brewing operations progress. He also addressed some rumors about a recent murder when a True Colors employee and a young woman were killed at his son's home.
Some of the other media groups anyway have had some pretty sensationalized headlines that would lead people to believe that maybe there were criminal things or wrong things going on at True Colors, or maybe even within my family. And so it just seemed like it was time to at least try to let everyone know what was true. You can once you hear what's true, you can make your own decisions on what you think of True Colors.
Look for Donna Gregory's full story next week on WWAY News and WWAYTV3.com. And Wilmington city officials are warning you to stay out of Greenfield Lake and away from potentially toxic blue-green algae growing there. City media manager Jennifer Dandrin says the algae may be the result of Wilmington's climate along with untreated stormwater runoff. While no sickness or death have been reported from the algae, dogs and livestock have died from exposure in the past. Dandrin says if you come in contact with the algae, take a shower and call your doctor if you see any adverse effects.
Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Lee Haywood with your Storm Track 3 AccuWeather forecast. Brought to you by Window World of Wilmington.
And a good Friday evening. We had a beautiful wrap of the work and school week today. A lot of sunshine, a few clouds. High temperatures were around 90 degrees over many areas of the Cape Fear. Dominating feature this evening is a big cell of high pressure that is situated offshore. It's only bringing a few clouds to the region right now. It's warm and it's humid. Most areas are in the 70s to about 80 degrees. 77 degrees current temperature in Whiteville, as well Kenansville and Jacksonville, 80 in the Port City and 76 in Calabash. For the remainder of the night, look for dry conditions, fair skies. It'll be warm and muggy, maybe a little patchy fog over inland communities, with the lows dropping in the low to mid 70s. This is Ida. It's a hurricane, and it could become a dangerous hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. We'll track it and have that weekend forecast, Peyton, coming up.
Thank you, Lee. Just ahead, restaurants and their vaccine mandates, why you may not be able to run a tab if you haven't gotten your vaccine jab, and why medical marijuana supporters have high hopes after two Senate committees offer a blunt assessment of what bill could pass. In Brunswick County, the town of Holden Beach and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers beginning a coastal storm risk management study. Today, the two groups holding a signing ceremony to mark the study's beginning, which will determine whether a plan to manage coastal storm risks for Holden Beach is in the federal interest. Covering the Carolinas, signs are popping up at several businesses in downtown Durham, proof of vaccination required. Alley 26 started its mandate this week, following in the footsteps of Pizzeria Mercado in Carborough. Governor Roy Cooper visiting the pizzeria yesterday, encouraging other restaurants to instate vaccine requirements. But for now, the state is leaving the choice up to business owners.
All options are on the table to protect the health and safety of North Carolinians. I think we first need to get local buy-in for doing this.
Alley 26 owner Shannon Healy says the response from his patrons to the mandate has been overwhelmingly positive. Governor Cooper officially requesting a federal major disaster declaration for western North Carolina counties that suffered extensive damages from flooding and landslides last week. The move comes as Haywood County officials conclude their search and rescue efforts and the sixth confirmed victim of Tropical Storm Fred, Jack Krolak of Crusoe. And Governor Cooper may have another bill to sign soon. The General Assembly approving a bill allowing insurance companies to offer small businesses a different kind of health coverage. The bill sets up exclusive provider benefit plans. They work like preferred provider organization plans, except patients won't be covered when they go to out-of-network doctors. Senate Republicans say large self-insured companies can already offer EPO plans to their workers, but small businesses can't under current law. And a bill legalizing marijuana for medical use clearing more legislative hurdles in the Senate. The bill would let patients purchase marijuana from medical cannabis centers if their doctor declares in writing they have one or more of a dozen debilitating medical conditions. A new state commission would issue 10 medical cannabis supplier licenses, allowing 4 sales centers each. Centers cannot operate late at night or be near churches or schools. With the Senate Health Care Committee approving the measure yesterday, it could be on the full Senate floor next week. And Bojangles will close all of its company-owned locations for 2 days, saying they're giving employees a well-deserved break. However, Bojangles employees will not get paid for those days off. Bojangles says the upcoming closures were in response to industry-wide labor shortages and other stresses put on its employees who've worked hard throughout the pandemic. Many staff members working overtime to make ends meet. Still to come tonight, holy cow, why a helicopter crew needed to beef up their rescue efforts in Switzerland today. And a 19-year-old hoping to navigate around the world passes her first test with flying colors.
Middle parts of next week.
That's good. Thank you, Lee. And when we return, the newest bed and breakfast in northern France is a former Nazi bunker. We'll have the details on a D-Day themed getaway. We have an update to a story we brought you a few weeks ago about a woman hoping to fly around the world. A teenage pilot hoping to become the youngest woman to navigate the globe on her own landed in New York's JFK airport, completing the first leg of a 3-month journey. 19-year-old Zara Rutherford took off from her hometown in Belgium August 18th. Her plan is to travel to 52 countries and 5 continents over the next 12 weeks. Those looking to travel to northern France may have a new bed and breakfast option, a former Nazi bunker. France's northern coast is still filled with fortifications left behind by the German army in World War II. Serge Kalou spent 18 months digging out and renovating the 1,300 square foot bunker, turning it into a fully functioning rental, complete with a bar area and cozy living room. A night in the bunker costs $375 for up to 8 people, and a second floor can welcome up to 25 guests for $1,700 a night. In Switzerland, a French graffiti artist's mountaintop project aims to lift people's spirits by helping to recapture the childlike wonder of clouds drifting by. The 1,800 square yard work by Sipe was made using biodegradable paints from natural pigments like coal and chalk. His previous work adorned sites ranging from South African shanty towns to the lawn in front of the United Nations European headquarters in Geneva. And elsewhere in the Swiss Alps, some injured cows got a jump on their healthier herd mates when they got helicopter rides down the mountain. Around 10 cows got the lift to land near a mountain pass, around 6,400 feet above that sea level. Now the rest of the 1,000-strong herd is due to head down this weekend by natural means. A host of species were put on a scale as London Zoo began its annual animal weigh-in. Zookeepers armed with clipboards and calculators roamed the nearly 200-year-old zoo, tallying the weight, height, and size of the animals. According to the zoo's animal operations manager, the information will be shared with other zoos and conservation bodies globally. With at least 20,000 animals calling the zoo their home, keepers will spend the rest of the weekend finishing in the weigh-ins. And 3 lion cubs are practicing their first roars in a Mexican zoo amid a rare baby boom. The 1 male and 2 female cubs were born on August 13th and are reported to be in good health. Zookeepers have separated the cubs from their mother after she failed to produce milk. They're being bottle fed every 3 hours. They're so cute. And it's Friday. That means high school football. Sports director Jake Eichstead will have all the highlights from under the lights in tonight's 5th quarter coming up at 11. After the break, Lee takes a look at your weekend forecast.